Hi there, my name is Dr. Jamie Marich, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my new book, Trauma and the 12 Steps, a complete guide for enhancing recovery, which is due out in the summer of 2012. I think the best way that I can tell you about this new book is to give you a little bit of the background about how I was inspired to write it. About 2 years ago, I first went out on the road nationally doing a course called Trauma and Addiction Interaction. And a lot of participants shared with me that they liked my ability to talk about how to use traditional 12-step recovery philosophies in a way that honored what our field, what our professions had learned about the realities of traumatic stress. See, what I had noticed in my career and my formation was that a lot of my colleagues who are very well versed on PTSD and trauma seemed to have a bit of a downer attitude about 12-step recovery. Although a lot of them weren't totally opposed to it, a line I seemed to hear a lot was, I think the 12 steps are just too outdated. They just don't seem to meet the traumatic stress needs that people have, or they really, especially meetings in certain communities, are just ignorant to what people struggle with trauma and mental health. On the other side, being involved in a 12-step recovery community and coming up in traditional treatment, a line I typically heard was things like, you're complicating it too much. If you look too much at the mental health or too much of the trauma, you're just giving people more excuses to use, or you may destabilize them if you get into material too quickly. And something about me and my philosophy is I've always been one who has strived to bridge the gap, to see what can we take from 2 different or even 3 or 4 different perspectives and really come together and take what we most need to in order to help people. So that was my inspiration for writing this book. I think in Trauma and the 12 Steps, you're going to find a lot of very practical, user-friendly strategies. My primary target audience are counselors, sponsors, and those who are in any type of leadership role to work with alcoholics, addicts, people in recovery. Because what I have often seen happen is that a lot of people with addiction knowledge lack the trauma knowledge to really meet people where they're at, and a lot of people with trauma knowledge lack the addiction knowledge to really meet people where they're at. And an attitude I very much take as well is that we don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to treating addiction. That there's so much about traditional addiction philosophy that really does work. We just need to modify our thinking a little bit, taking into account what our field has learned about trauma and the realities of treating it. So I really do hope you check out this new book. Get in contact with us on our website at www.trauma12, that's the number 12 spelled out, TWELVE.com.
I can't, but you can. I think I'll let you open up this door for me to freedom abounding. I can't, but you can. I think I'll let you open up this door for me to love and joy awaiting with happy